welcome to April. Welcome back to Taco Tuesdays. I'm so excited to be back tonight after a month-long break in March for some mental wellness. So I'm really excited to speak with you guys tonight. Since our last break, as you all know, I normally have a White Claw for our Taco Tuesdays, but we have something new. If you're in Kentucky, you should order a Kentucky Mule. It is my new jam. So it is, because I feel like this is really important to our discussion tonight. In fact, we will discuss briefly alcohol, which is ironic. Also ironic is that we're discussing sleep oils, and I haven't slept in like 2 weeks. Not my fault. We'll cover that too. So the Kentucky Mule is lime, which who doesn't love lime, especially when it's 75 degrees outside and been hot all day, with ginger beer. Good quality ginger beer. I don't like mine caffeinated, so there's that. And then bourbon. It's delicious, hands down, would drink them all the time, but we're not here to discuss alcohol. Although if you wanted to make a twist on it and do an apple cider mule, you could add, instead of ginger beer, apple cider, and it is also delicious with some sliced apples. Here is your cocktail tip of the day. So I'm excited to talk about oils with you all. Excited to talk about sleep, things that can benefit, things that can help, things that play a role into all of those things. So let's hop right in. Let's discuss some of my favorites, things that I found beneficial, the whys of how all of that works, and let's get going, okay? So sleep is one of those things that is, and rest, true rest, is super multifaceted, okay? So when we're talking tonight about oils or talking about things that are gonna benefit, know that they are not gonna be like one of those quick fix things, okay? But also what I've found in years past and in my relationships with other people is that when you make a positive change in one area of your life and it sticks, like that routine sticks, and you start seeing the benefits of that one positive change, those start to flow out into other areas of your life. And so for us, for my family, my husband and I, we made some drastic changes in our food and our eating. That was 7 years ago, and that led into oils, led into toxin-free living, led into so many other different areas of our life that we now live completely differently. And so maybe sleep is one of those for you. Maybe your gateway to a healthier lifestyle is exercise. Maybe, there's so many different things that can be the jump start for so many other parts of our lives. And so I'm going to briefly talk about several things that can benefit or contribute to your sleep and to having good sleep, so that you know that it's not just an oils thing. It's like a whole body interaction, okay? And so the same way with just using oils in general, just because you use oils and you eat like crap, they're not really going to balance out so much, So, or, you exercise, but you eat McDonald's and ding dongs every day. That's not really a balance. So, there is a balance, you have the treat, or you have the whatever, you have the Kentucky Mule in moderation and in balance, So let's cover a couple things that help contribute to positive factors for sleep and rest. Let's cover those, and then we'll hop into the oils part, okay? Because I really want to see you guys having a good, solid rest, and I know any mom will tell you what the difference in having a good night's rest can do for your entire day and like your whole week, So food and drinks. I told you we were going to briefly discuss alcohol. So eating and drinking close to a couple hours before bedtime can be really hard on your stomach. It's still trying to digest, not to mention, if you had a really heavy meal or something really greasy, you can have issues with like heartburn or that sort of situation. So you really want to give a full rest or fast. That's why it's called breakfast. Break fast. You're breaking your fast from the night before. You really want to give yourself a good rest, and your digestive system a good rest while you sleep. So stopping snacks and foods and eating a couple hours is recommended. At least an hour or so before bed is really helpful and beneficial, so that you can get all of those other things under control. You don't have issues even going to the bathroom. I hate having to get up and go to the bathroom. It's the worst. Caffeine and sugar, those are pretty self-explanatory. Most people realize that caffeine a certain time after the day, or maybe at all, if you have any of the day, depending on how sensitive you are to it, can disrupt your circadian rhythm, your sleep cycles. Caffeine itself blocks your adenosine, which is what helps you sleep, your adenosine. So that can break that cycle. Sugar is also, it can get your brain going, get you thinking quickly, kind of charge you up when you should be starting to mellow down. Same with alcohol. It can feel really relaxing at the moment. On that note, I'm going to take a sip. But I'm not going to bed in the next 45 minutes either. So, well, it can seem really relaxing at the time. It can also mess with your sleep cycle. And sleep in general, you want to have consistency. So going to bed at like 8 o'clock one night, who does that? Not me, only my children. 8 o'clock one night, and then 12 o'clock the next night, or 11 o'clock the next night, like that really kind of messes with your sleep cycle. As much as you know that with kids, that it's really helpful for their body to have a routine, going to bed around about the same time every night, it's just as important for adults. So they recommend that you not change your bedtime more than an hour. So if you typically during the week go to bed at like 10ish or 11ish, that's kind of us. We normally go to bed around 11, as much as we try to go to bed earlier. We normally go to bed around 10 or 11. So on the weekends, even though it's the weekend, it's best that we stick within an hour time range of that. So not staying up till like 1 a.m. or going to bed at like 9 or 8:30, you know, like having big jumps and changes with your sleep routine. So that consistency is really helpful for your body to know what to expect and how to really engage in that rest. So outdoor physical activity, if anyone has been outside the last 2 weeks, you might have already experienced this benefit. So my kids are loving playing outside all day, every day right now. So that vitamin D, the sunshine, super beneficial to just wearing you out and helping you get good rest. If you follow accounts on Instagram, we love 1,000 hours outside. We, as a family, are doing that challenge this year. They have printables with 1,000. It's like a mosaic, like 1,000 little pieces that you can color in. And so you color in each month how many hours you've spent outside, and the goal is by the end of the year to have spent 1,000 hours outside. So we are probably, I think, a little over 100 hours in at this point in the year. And so it's been a really fun challenge for us. But I also am just seeing like how our body really responds well to playing outside and being in the dirt. Ugh, I love it. I love this time of year. So sunshine is really helpful. Even if you do on a lunch break, a walk around the building. My husband likes to do that on his lunch break. Just take a walk in the sunshine for a bit. So physical activity, some kind of exercise, or outdoor time is really helpful. Phones and screen times. I know you guys have heard this before. Let me be the resounding voice to remind you that they mess with your sleep cycle when you're using them right before bedtime. I say that while using my phone and my laptop to speak with you currently. But they keep us psychologically engaged. And as anyone will know, I've experienced 1,000 times. You're right about to go to sleep and you forgot to turn your phone on silent and beep, buzz. Oh, what was that? Well, I'll just check it tomorrow. I really want to know what that was. What was it? Oh, it was such and such. Oh, she wants to know about something for next week. Well, let me think about that. I'll just check my schedule. My schedule's in the other room. Let me go just get that. And so like you are going into 1,000 different directions when you had just started to calm down and go to sleep. So, or engaging on Instagram or some sort of social platform right before bedtime. You're triggered by comments that you see, people that you talk about, especially in this season of our world. There's likely something that's going to trigger you when you're opening your phone right now. So just set an alarm on your phone at 9 o'clock every night. Your alarm goes on. Hey, turn your phone off. Put it on do not disturb mode. Let your mind have that rest. As much as your digestive system needs that physical rest, give your brain the same kind of rest. Blue light is another huge one. There's a blue night mode, I think, on most phones now that you can have to switch on at certain times of day. But the blue light can mess with your artificial daylight is what keeps you alert and awake. And so that artificial light of your phone messes with your sleep and brings that alertness that you don't want when you're trying to go to sleep. So put your phone on silent, airplane mode. EMFs, whole different story for another day. But not having your Wi-Fi on right next to you as you sleep is also beneficial. So you can have a delayed REM cycle because of an emotional response that you've read to something. So even if it's happy, like you're going to have that distraction going on in your mind. So stress, everyone knows stress plays a huge role in every part of our life. And if you have lived in the year of 2020 and 2021, you have likely experienced this in some capacity. This is why oils can be so huge and beneficial for sleep as well. We'll talk about that. Stress. Other random things, napping too long in the middle of the day. If you're interested in napping, read the 26-minute napping study that I think NASA and a bunch of other places instigate. So if I take a nap, or if I'm able to take a nap, I set my alarm for like 31 minutes because it takes me about 5 minutes to fall asleep, so that I can get a 26-minute nap. That's like the ideal, perfect nap. Anyways, napping too long during the day can mess with that. Medications that you're taking or could be on could mess with that. There's so many different things, like I said, that can hinder that really big rest support time that you need during the night. So those are some things that might have a hindrance. So let's try to avoid those. And now let's jump into the oils because that's why you're here. So we're going to talk about some single oils and then some blends as well, and my personal experiences with them, but also know in my emotions class that we've taught before, I go into a whole thing discussing why the oils work so well as far as working with your olfactory, working within your brain, how you smell them, how they go through the blood-brain barrier, how they affect your emotions. There is a complete scientific study for all of this. It's not some like hocus pocus randomness. It is actual beneficial, scientifically proven in multiple studies kind of thing. So the first one, Cedar Wood. This is the oil that made my husband a believer in oils. So when I had just, trying to think of that. Yeah, I was about to deliver our second kid. I got Cedar Wood. FYI, it's like one of the cheapest oils. A 15 ml is $11. We keep it on hand at all times. So Cedar Wood, it triggers the release of serotonin, which serotonin turns into melatonin, which helps you go to sleep. It has sedative qualities and it's insomnia support. It also helps detox and release like negative emotions and stuff. So it triggers that melatonin, and so that's why it's so beneficial. It's not like these oils like just make you fall asleep. There's actual reasons why they can help that. So triggering the melatonin in your brain so that it can help slow down your thoughts, help you calm that brain from like a busy day. But our personal experience with it, my first son was almost 3 and I was about to have my second child, and sleep just got insane. He started waking up right before I delivered, like all the time, some sort of like brain development or whatever. So my husband noticed that the nights that we were diffusing something, he was able to go right back to sleep. But there were nights that we weren't diffusing and he would just be up and up the whole night after my son would wake up. And so one night he was like, what did you diffuse last night? Because I went right back to sleep. And I was like, Cedarwood. And he was like, can you put that back in the diffuser? Legit, guys. If it is going in our diffuser, which we do, we kind of mix up our oils. I'll talk about that at the end. Cedarwood is one of those that if I am up in the night, it helps me fall back asleep quickly. It is the best. It's the jam. It's one of the cheapest. It does, for some, smell a little bit like a hamster cage if you have that memory connection to cedar. But it's so beneficial, I don't even care what it smells like. And I'll add lavender, or I'll add like Northern Lights black spruce or something like that to it so that it's not like a full-on cedar smell. It has occasionally brought on weird dreams. I can handle weird dreams if it means I'm sleeping. So that's Cedarwood. It's our first love. Lavender, everybody knows about lavender. It is the go-to for all things sleep and rest. It's the most common one. It's the base for a lot of my sleep blends. It increases slow wave sleep, which is your deep sleep. It helps slow your heart rate and your blood pressure. It's relaxing in all capacities, so it's same effects come for when you're sleeping as well. It helps the release of your muscles also. So sometimes I'll add a few drops into my lotion before I put it on. I'll talk about all the ways that I use them here at the end. But lavender, everyone knows. I think it's pretty common that everybody knows lavender is the jam when it comes to sleep support. Roman Chamomile, that was a new one for me about a year and a half ago. It was a free promo with Ylang Ylang, and I got it. It does smell a little bit like a really strong chamomile tea, and it's used in a lot of the baby products because it's really mild but really effective for just relaxing. So it's considered a mild, like, sedative type oil as well. It's very nerve calming. And it's stress support, anxiety support, that sort of thing. Studies have shown it to be used well with people that struggle with, like, negative emotions, depression, and that sort of thing. I can't say that it helps with that. FDA wise, I can't say that, but there has been people that have had experiences with that have been beneficial. So that's Roman Chamomile. I use it as a blend with lavender and that sort of thing too. Ylang Ylang. It's a floral one. If you love florals, this is a great one. It is one of those that is very balancing in the brain. It helps kick the negativity. It's a great one to diffuse. It's a great one to put on as well, especially if a female or if you want to use it as a perfume. I add lavender to it, and I love that also. It has a component called linalool. I think I'm spelling it correct or saying it correctly, which is a compound found to possess stress-reducing properties. So that's why Ylang is really helpful. It also specifically affects the emotional part of your brain, which also affects your heart rate. We talk about this in the emotions class. Your heart rate, your stress levels, your blood pressure, your breathing, all of those things are affected by a specific part of your brain, and Ylang triggers that area of your brain. So it can also increase feelings of calmness. So it's a great one to diffuse, even if it's not sleep time, if you need that kind of support during the day. Frankincense also comes in the starter kit. People love that one. Very grounding effect, which, if you don't know what grounding means when it comes to oils, that's where it is used quite a bit. It's kind of like you're up here, like all stressed out, and it kind of brings you back down, kind of levels you out, level-headedness, a grounding, like put your feet back on the ground when you're like crazy and all up in here. So frankincense is good for that. This is a good time to point out as well, one oil is not a cure-all for all. One oil is not a cure-all for anything. You need balance all over, but this is a great support. Frankincense has a very emotional effect for some people. And so when it comes to using oils, as much as everyone is different, oils will affect you all differently too. So I'll give an example of this. I have a friend that loves frankincense and will speak to the ends of the world about how amazing Young Living is because of her experience with frankincense. Every time she diffuses it, she cries. It's the craziest thing. She will diffuse it at night and will wake up with her pillow wet with tears. It is that intense of an emotional response to her. My son is the same way. So I'll use frankincense on him during the day or as we need it, diffusing around his body during the day. I cannot diffuse it at night. He will wake up crying 10 out of 10 times. There's been even a couple of times I've occasionally forgotten and put, I have like a immune support roller. Frankincense is helpful for that too. And I'll put it on like Vera and Pax, my younger two, and then without even thinking, I'll just swipe Shepherd before bed. And he'll be up crying. Like, it's the wildest thing, but his body responds to frankincense in that way. And so orange, I'm that way with, not orange, I'm not like emotional by it, but a lot of people speak to the benefits of orange with like orange and lavender for calming. Orange wakes me up. So it's sometimes just an issue of trial and error to see what works well with your body. You know, try it for several nights in a row and see how your body responds to something before writing it off. But it's amazing how our bodies are made so differently. You know, same as like with food. You know, it's oils that aren't some like random thing like, oh, why does it respond so differently to people? Why do some foods I love, you don't? You know, why does working out some way effective for me, but it's not effective for you? You know, like our bodies are made so differently and we respond to things so differently. So oils are just the same, you know, as far as that goes. So try some, see what works well for you. And so these are ones that are really beneficial for me, but I've also picked ones that are across the board beneficial for lots of people. So frankincense, it's the jam. It also is found to help reduce cortisol, which is the stress level. So obviously bringing your stress levels down and your cortisol down before bedtime is really helpful. So Clary Sage, this one is a relatively new one for me because Clary Sage has always been one of those, like I used it during labor, I've used it for hormones. I did not realize, excuse me, that it was beneficial for sleep support. But there's a couple studies that I found that were speaking mainly to like menopausal age women, and it can help with night sweats and hot flashes, things of that nature that can wake you up in the night. It's really beneficial for women of that age and in that season for sleep support, but it can also reduce your cortisol again, which is your stress hormone. And it's also considered a hypotensive oil, which means it can help lower your blood pressure, which obviously lowering your blood pressure and slowing that down is really helpful for the end of the day. So, but because it is a hormonal one in that sense, if you are pregnant, I would not use it because it can be beneficial for labor, which is great when you are in labor, not when you are not wanting to be in labor. So, sticking to diffusing it would be really great, and it actually has a really like smooth smell to it. I really enjoy it. It is very sagey, as you would kind of anticipate. So Clary Sage, that's a new one to me that in the last couple months that I've been trying. Vetiver, really masculine smell. If you've got a guy in your life that wants some sleep support, this is a great one. It's a resin, so it's got like a sappy, sticky consistency. It's also a little tricky to get out of the bottle, so you might want to use a dropper with it to drop it in, but it's been found to be helpful with snoring because it increases your quality of exhalation and decreases your inhalation, which is the process of snoring. It can be anxiety support. A lot of people who need support with not necessarily anxiety, but like hyperactive kind of situations found vetiver to be very calming as well. So vetiver is really great to add to oil blends that for sleep support or just rest and calming effect. So that's some single oils. There's a couple blends that Ylang Ylang is really well known for. So I'm just going to cover those two biggest ones, and then we'll kind of start to wrap up a little bit here. Dreamcatcher is like one of those amazing super oils. It is full of a ton of goodness, a lot of expensive goodness: sandalwood, blue tansy, geranium, davana, ylang, bergamot, anise, rose oil, blue cypress, acacia, a ton of really great high quality oils. It's also one of the more expensive oils. It's a little over $100, and so it smells amazing, but also can be a little bit pricier. That's why I point out Cedarwood so much. You guys know I'm thrifty. Cedarwood is amazing, and it's $11, and it lasts. Whereas Dreamcatcher would just be one of those more special moment or special sleep kind of things, or you can always dilute it and use it in a roller on your feet, which we'll talk about in a minute on different ways to use it. Rutavala is another one of those. I had gotten it a couple years ago as like a freebie promo, and I was like, ooh, I was pregnant at the time. Ruta oil, you don't want to use while you're pregnant. So it also smells like stinky feet. And if you are new to oils, it may be a turn off for you. But if you have used oils for a couple months, you may be like most everyone else in the sense that I don't care what it smells like. If it's going to benefit me, I'm going to use it. And so Rutavala is one of those, and it was the freebie 1 month ago. And I've been using it in the diffuser, and I love it. Like, I really am experiencing a good night's sleep with it, a good deep sleep. And so I pair it with lavender. So Rutavala is a blend of Ruta oil, valerian, so the Vala, and La is lavender. So Ruta, valerian, and lavender, Rutavala. It's a mix of those three oils, and so you've got like a powerhouse of amazing oils to bring deep sleep support. So it stinks, but put it on the bottom of your feet, which is an excellent place to put oils anyways, and then cover them with socks. Random note, a friend sent me a study because she makes fun of me that I sleep with socks on because that's what normal people do. And apparently if you sleep with socks on, it actually can help you have a better night's sleep. Who knew? So put Rutavala on your feet because you might find it stinky. You might not. You might like it. Some people love Digis. I don't love the smell of Digis, but I use it because it's amazing. But some people don't mind the smell of it. Rutavala is the same way. You may not like it, but the benefits far outweigh it. So just roll it on your feet, put some socks on. But it has sedative properties, and it also helps counteract stress nerves. So those are some excellent oils. I'd love to hear what you guys use, things that you put together and blend. A quick note, oils to avoid with going to sleep. Citrus oils are bright and wake you up, like lemon, grapefruit, orange, those kind of ones. And peppermint. Peppermint's a huge, like, wake me up kind of oil. I learned that one the wrong way because I love making my own milkshakes at home. And I'm kind of obsessed with Chick-fil-A's peppermint milkshake. But I make my own using peppermint oil and dark chocolate chips. It's amazing. You should try it. But I found that if I drank it too late in the evening, even just like the 2 drops of peppermint oil that I put in it, it would keep me up. It's that effective. So avoid peppermint oil too close to bedtime. So how do we use these oils? And this is we're going to wrap up here. How do we use these oils? When it comes to my kids, I set their diffusers on, and I love to put it on a little bit before bedtime and close their door, and we'll do like story time in the living room or something, or while we're brushing teeth or whatever. And then we'll come in, especially for my youngest that I'm still nursing at night, I'll walk into his room, and I can always tell when I'm kind of in the routine of doing it and out of the routine of doing his diffuser at night, because he falls asleep so much quicker when I'm diffusing while I'm putting him to bed. And so that like waft of oils hits you as soon as you open the door to put him down. And so having their diffusers going at bedtime is really helpful. I roll the bottom of their feet. They have specific oils in their room next to their beds that is just for them, that's diluted, that's ready to go. The kids line has, I didn't see about that, but kids line has an oil called Sleepy Eyes that's really, it smells delicious, has rum and chamomile and lavender. It's really yummy, but it's a great one for kids that's already pre-diluted and ready to go. So you could do that, and so just kind of getting them in the habit. They love to do it themselves. Letting kids take ownership in something gets them way more excited. So they can roll their own feet. They'll put it behind their necks. Often we'll do like a baby lotion, Young Living seedlings line, because I trust the ingredients and I love that there's good calming oils in it. I'll put baby lotion on my youngest before bed in PJs, and so having those oils already on his body is beneficial too. So, but routine is so important with kiddos, and they'll start to attach those certain smells that you use in their room and in their lotions. Their body will start to attach that scent to bedtime, which can help with the routine, help with their body to know, oh, I know this smell. This is a bedtime smell. It's triggering me to start slowing down and to start resting. So routine and getting into some sort of motion with that is really beneficial for kiddos. When it comes to an adult, the main 2 ways for using sleep oils, aromatically and topically. So aromatically in the diffuser, smelling them before you go to bed, and getting into that same routine yourself. So I keep a little cupcake stand next to my bed, and I keep like my top 5 or 6 oils that we just talked about. Northern Lights Black Spruce is another one that I use. Tree oils are really good grounding oils. Northern Lights Black Spruce we didn't talk about tonight, but it's one of my favorite also. I'll keep that, and Cedar Wood and Lavender and Roman Chamomile and Rutavala all on my little nightstand, and I just grab 2 every night. And I just change them out. So there's a whole story on Science of Essentials. She's one of my favorite follows on Instagram. She does a whole series on why it's good to kind of change things up a little bit and not get your body too used to using like the exact same oils all day, every day, like all the time. And so I keep those like 5 or 6 oils on my nightstand, and I just kind of at random, or unless one like speaks to me, I'll grab 2 and drop like 2-3 drops of each and go to bed. So keeping them in sight is also huge. So out of sight, out of mind is most definitely true for your oils. So keep little stations around your home. Keep a little station set up around each of your diffusers so that you've got oils ready to go, especially when it comes to bedtime. So topically, making a roller of some of your oils to put on the bottoms of your feet is a great place. Then put socks on. That's where your largest pores are. That's where you're least sensitive. It's a great place to put oils. And then the back of my neck, the inside of my wrist. Sometimes I'll put a drop or 2 and just take some deep breaths. I'll put a drop or 2 rub it in my hair so that as I'm laying down, it's like diffusing from my hair. I'll put it in my hands, take a deep breath, and then rub my pillow so that as I lay down, it's smelling on my pillow. There's a lot of great ways. Your temples, you can put it right on your temples. There's so many excellent ways to get oils going on you before bedtime. Making a spray, a little pillow spray or linen spray is really helpful too. You can add it, like I said earlier, I'll add it to my lotion and put it on my arms or legs, you know, before bedtime, getting those oils on me. And another great way, if you are a big bath taker, I'm not a bath person. I'd like to be, I'm just not. But if you want to add a couple great oils like lavender or ylang to some Epsom salts, which Epsom's going to have magnesium, and also start triggering your body to start relaxing and getting into that mode, relaxing your muscles for the evening. A great bath with some oils is really going to get your body going in that direction too. So that's what I have for sleep oils. I really hope that this is encouraging to you guys and something that you will get into a routine of, because I think your body will really benefit from it. I said I hadn't been sleeping earlier. It's because my son is teething, which we are working on finding the best recipe for him to get a best night of sleep right now. So we're doing all the things. I've got the gum paste, or gum paste that I made for him with some clove oil and some orange to help numb, and copaiba for inflammation. So there's so many tools at our disposal for rest, even with kiddos that are teething. I've got his diffuser going. I have all the things that I'm going. I'm trying to find like the best method and the best oils for him to get him the deepest sleep so that he's rested, I'm rested, and everyone can have the best day. So we're on a quest right now to find out what works best for him. He's a late teether, so this is one of like the first-ish times that he's really struggling with teething. And so we're just working to find, like what I said earlier, every oil works different with every person. So finding what blend works really well for him is what we're doing right now. So we tried a little Cedarwood in his diffuser tonight. We'll see how that goes, and I'm excited to see how his body responds to it. So that's oils, that's sleep, all the things that we talked about at the beginning. Try to cut the snacking an hour before bed, turn your phone off, all the things that get you the best rest, because when you have rested and slept, it affects your entire next day. So go forth and conquer. Happy sleeping. Good night, friends.